We talk Ohio State football with Claire Crawford. You can join her and Joe Dexter on their podcast, Oh Hail No. Just go to theozone.net. Talking Buckeyes, Badgers, the Big Ten Championship, and maybe even more on the line. What about Dwayne Haskins?
What about Dwayne Haskins? It was really, we've watched him play throughout the year in kind of the garbage time reps, and for him to have been 4 for 5, right?
6 for 7.
For 7. See, I'm getting corrected all day. I need a tune-up, a Buckeye tune-up. 6 for 7 on the day, and really, we saw him look cool and calm and comfortable in a situation that was very high pressure. We watched him play very loose. Now, granted, they didn't throw the playbook at Dwayne Haskins and expect him to execute. But what I think the difference was, when Dwayne Haskins went in the game, they knew that they needed to use their tailbacks to run the ball and not just JT Barrett to run the ball, or Dwayne Haskins now running the ball. So, and we've talked about it before, how when Ohio State abandons the use of the tailbacks running the ball, or abandons the run game altogether when they're trying to force other things, then it doesn't turn out in Ohio State's favor. So the fact that Mike Weber and J.K. Dobbins were able to really start catching some headwind on a very staunch Michigan defense that was not giving up much up to this game was really impressive, and I think definitely helped open up that pass game for Dwayne Haskins.
Ohio State down when JT Barrett went down 20-14. They had a drive going that was the completion of the JT Barrett started drive. Dwayne Haskins in the game, and they got to a 3rd and I believe 13. And I'm thinking they're out of field goal range just barely. They need a play. If they're thinking conservatively, they're probably going to try to do something with a draw, quarterback draw, bubble screen, something to try to create a little bit of yardage. But they need quite a bit to really get in meaningful, realistic field goal range, considering the Sean Nurenberger's difficulty hitting from long range, although he did hit a 44-yarder. But for him to drop back, for them to trust him, and for him to hit that ridiculous throw where he just laced it between 2 defenders and basically planted it, almost put the football cross imprint into Austin Mack's chest. It was thrown so hard. And Austin Mack took a vicious hit, hung onto the ball for the first down that led to the touchdown that got them to within 21, or they took the lead on that one. I was missing the who missed the extra points there. They took the lead at 21-20 after completing that drive. I thought it was a great throw, and then it seemed to really open up the offense, because I know that the Michigan defense probably thinking the same thing. Okay, they're not going to trust him. We're going to see a lot of quarterback runs. We're going to see a lot of protective type plays to try to prevent turnover, and he ripped off that throw. And from there on, no, they didn't shoulder the offense onto him like you just stated, but they let him throw in the situations in which they needed to convert.
And he did absolutely exactly what they needed him to do. And that's a lot to ask at that time out of that guy, and he stepped up. And as Buckeye fans, we want to see JT Barrett succeed. Right now, JT Barrett obviously went down in the game and had arthroscopic surgery this week, and is still cleared to play in the Big Ten Championship game. And as Buckeye fans, we want to go forward and send JT out that way and have him healthy and still win. But I think also as fans, we are feeling more comfortable, and I'm hoping that the Ohio State staff is feeling more comfortable knowing that Dwayne Haskins can go in a high-pressure situation and can really get this offense moving, maybe in a way that JT Barrett can't.
There was a really good question posed to Urban Meyer this week at his Monday news conference, and he didn't necessarily answer it, but I think he respected the question and he understood the reporter's line of thinking, but he just couldn't take all of these circumstances into account because he's not in that situation. But it went along the lines of, are you going to be not just more confident, but more likely to pull the trigger and bring in Haskins if JT is limp, if he's hobbled up, are you more likely to say, okay, we know what we have a little bit more in Dwayne Haskins, therefore JT's not at 100% or even 90%, so we're going to make the move, as opposed to JT has to practically be crawling off the field for us to insert anyone prior to us getting that proof in a big game on the road that Dwayne Haskins is up to the challenge. And Urban didn't want to put himself in a position to be responsible or accountable to any game time decisions, but at the same time, he understood the line of thinking and just said, hey, we're going to have to determine at that point, what's the score, how much time's left in the game, how is our defense playing, how are we moving the ball otherwise, how's the offensive line playing. There are a lot of things to be taken into consideration, but yeah, it's a different decision today than it would have been 10 days ago.
And the only thing that Buckeye fans should be aware of, and I know we're kind of like circling the drain talking about Wisconsin here in the Big Ten championship game.
We'll get to them.
We're meshing the two together right now, right? Wisconsin has the number 2 scoring defense in the country right now. They're averaging 12 points a game. And it's something, first of all, that the Buckeye defense has not been able to do. And second of all, if Haskins does go in as successful as he was against Michigan, we should have a little bit of reservation with him being more of a gunslinger type quarterback and playing a little bit looser than JT, who has historically taken very good care of the football, with the exception of the abomination of the Iowa game. That it's something that Haskins, if let's say he does throw a pick, what his mentality is going to look like after that, if he's going to be able to bounce back, or if he even has to play at all.